Yup. So probably one of the hottest, if you want to call it that, topics in regards to our culture and politics is, marijuana legalization. And the topic has come up recently because of New Jersey, where their state legislature basically failed to even have a vote on the topic. So this news is basically coming from the 25th. So it says, marijuana legalization, New Jersey takes step back, Connecticut moves forward, New York stays in neutral. So basically what this is referring to, so on the 25th, so on Monday, New Jersey had a planned vote to legalize pot, and basically it went belly up. It got canceled, and they were not able to vote on it for whatever reason. In Hartford, Connecticut, a legislative law committee gave it a thumbs up, and in New York, making marijuana legal is still a work in progress for Governor Andrew Cuomo. Is the grass greener on the other side of the river? Clearly, that was the question of the day after the planned vote to legalize marijuana in New York, or not New York, but New Jersey, went up in smoke. CBS 2's Marcia Kramer reported. So the article continues. On a radio show before Garden State lawmakers got cold feet, Cuomo was still drooling over the hundreds of millions of dollars the state could take in from a tax on marijuana sales. We are working to try to get marijuana done, the governor said. Later, a Cuomo spokesperson told CBS 2's Kramer the governor is still negotiating to legalize marijuana by the end of the legislative session in June. What goes on in New Jersey is their business, not theirs, the spokesman said. So an interesting thing that the article itself even notes later on in the article itself is that the governor of New Jersey actually, supports legalization. He wants, some kind of legislative bill, legalizing marijuana to pass through. So, the fact that they canceled, the vote, subsequently, on Monday, it does raise like some questions as to like why they even canceled it. I mean, if you think about it, there's like a fundamental reason why a lot of these states are, legalizing, marijuana. At least in my opinion, it's not necessarily, for like the freedom aspect, people, giving people like the freedom, to enjoy marijuana. It's more of the case of, stuff like tax revenue and stuff like that. And that's not just me saying it. The article, I showed this earlier, even slightly states that where, Cuomo, he's the New York governor, he's reportedly, drooling over the fact that, like if marijuana does get legalized in New York, he's going to be drooling over the hundreds of millions of dollars, the state could take in, from all the tax revenue that would come from marijuana sales. And you can see simply from this example of California as to like why they'll be so excited, to legalize marijuana. And why I say, it's mostly for, stuff like tax revenue and stuff like that. So for last year, for California's first full year of legalization of recreational marijuana, they collected an estimated $345.2 million, in total tax revenue. And an interesting note to point out on that is that that's actually half of the money that they actually expected last year. So they expected around $643 million, to come in from tax revenue, but they actually ended up getting around half of that. And that's a topic for another video as to like why that was the case. Now, one aspect that me and a lot of other people have to, look more closely towards is potential federal legalization of marijuana. And the simple reason why I say that is because, the growth of, like the industry, it can become stagnant, because of the direct result, that, at the federal level, marijuana is still illegal, and that causes, a lot of problems as a result. So take the instance of commerce, for example. So there's a lot of problems, if you want to send out marijuana products, like even stuff like, CBD, for example, because, you might have a state, where, you have marijuana, legalized even at the recreational level. But, if you want to, like send, those products out to, like states that, they don't have them legalized, that could cause like some problems as a result. And even when it comes to like banking transactions, like for example, so a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of transactions that are made, in the industry, they all have to be done with cash. And the reason why is because a lot of these banks, they simply, they can't accept, like marijuana related, transaction because like I said, at the federal level, it's still illegal. And a lot of these banks, they still have to, adhere to federal standards. So as a result, you can't pay with your debit card. So, hey. And this isn't necessarily like a problem now because, at least for right now, the current administration and the previous administration, they've been okay with, like all states, legalizing marijuana. But one thing that a lot of people do need to like remember is that there is a supremacy clause to the Constitution, and basically what that means is that federal law supersedes state law. So basically, if the federal government wanted to, they could crack down on all these states, and that could cause a big problem. And like I said, for right now, this isn't necessarily a problem, but hey, like if we get like some crazy president that maybe he doesn't like weed, and he wants to crack down on all the states that have it legalized, he would technically have the authority to do so, at least under the supremacy clause. Which is why I do think it's important, like moving forward during the 2020 presidential campaign, to know where exactly all the candidates stand when it comes to marijuana legalization. I do recommend that all of you check out the article. The link to the article will be in the description, and make your own judgments as to all the presidential candidates regarding marijuana. It's definitely going to be a topic that's going to come up a lot, during this, campaign. And, whenever it does come up, whenever, like for example, if a presidential candidate, they release like a big policy in regards to marijuana, you can expect, me to cover that here on this channel. And I know this video has been pretty short. I'll be honest, a lot of, the news regarding cannabis has been pretty dry, at least this week. So that's the reason why, for one thing, I haven't put out like, too many videos, and also why this video is pretty short. But hopefully moving forward, that's not the case. Now before I head out, I'm going to make a quick plug-in for HempWorks, the same company that I get all my CBD products from. HempWorks, as the name suggests, they make all of their CBD products from hemp, and it's all very high quality. It all comes from Kentucky. It's very well sourced, and for what you're getting, it's all really well affordably priced. They have a long range of products, including, of course, CBD oil. They also got, stuff like hemp-infused coffee, keto creamer. They got even Asian cream. Think about that, people. And if you got pets, you can be glad that they also got products for your lovely best friend. The link to the site will of course be in the description as well. And if you do decide to try out some of their products, feel free to let me know what you think of them. That's going to do it for me for today. If you want to catch up with my previous video, the link to that should be right here, unless it's right here. And of course, if you want to check out my social media, the links to those will of course be in the description as well. Stay tuned for my next video, but until then, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Take care, everyone. Peace.